Your family away, seeing me. I was starting my video and again, the internet cut out, so I'm on my hotspot on my phone. So I kind of figured that they're gonna keep playing this. I'm heading over there today to find out we're gonna get to the bottom of it. But this is how they want to play it. This is what we're gonna do. So hopefully Tata nZambi will continue to be a part of this. And the video, as I was talking before I was cut off, I was talking about where you can get knowledge from. Now, the powers that be have done a very good job of trying to deceive the world about the difference between spiritual knowledge and carnal knowledge. Through the educational system, what they have done is they have convinced the people who should be learning spiritually that the carnal knowledge is the acceptable way. They have mixed the two, and this is what people don't understand. This is why you have a lot of people in churches who are dumbed down, because the churches will never teach, and they've been conditioned this way, anything that contradicts what you're learning in school. That's why you always, when people come to pastors and they want to start asking them, why is it that they're teaching this to my children when we're supposed to be learning this? They don't understand. The church is designed to support the education system of the same people that's paying them. They're all one and the same, because they're all getting, I told you, this is about finances. Churches don't exist without money. Businesses don't exist without money, wealth, some kind of finance. And your institutions, why do you think you pay so much money to go to college? You don't even know the real reason why. They say, oh yeah, it's for more research, or it's for more this, or it's for more that. No, it's bigger than that. There's a reason why tuition, people don't understand, why do you have to be accepted to a college? It's no different than if you're, even when you do the fraternities and sororities, it's all about initiates. You're being initiated into another level of knowledge. This is why they don't tell you why the educational system has the cap and gown as part of their receiving. And yet, so many Christians read their Bible, and none of this is in there. None of it. It even says, Jesus Christ is my teacher. But you must listen to the people teaching your children in schools that will not even touch religion unless it's part of a historical context of teaching in the history class. When they start talking about Rome and Islam and these different things, then you'll start talking about it, but you can't go too far, right? Even though the entire European controlled world was based off of religion of some kind, whether it was Greek gods, Roman gods, Babylonian gods, Egyptian gods, whatever gods was the foundation for each civil society. That's where you got to go, and they take the science to counter the history. Whoa, wait a minute. Why did they do that? Why is history and science separated when they were both interacting in the same light of time? You had theologians, you had theology means the study of religion. It's what it really means. Ology always means the study of. Biology means the study of the biome, the environment. That's why sociology is the study of how people interact. Psychology is the study of how people use their brain and intellect. Okay, it's the study of. Everything is about study, study, study. That's why you study for tests. But yet the scriptures will tell the Christian, who are you supposed to be studying? The Creator. But yet, the Bible says all knowledge and wisdom comes from Him. So then why don't the school teach it? If it's about knowledge. Then whose knowledge are you learning? This is where you have been, because of the people who hate their enemies, and they know who I'm talking about. They have said so. We hate you people. We have fought wars against you. This is all about revenge for the wars against them, especially the wars of the Creator against them, because they know who destroyed the Hittites. The Hittites and the Israelites cannot be one and the same if the God of the Israelites destroyed the Hittites. So how did then the Hittites become the Israelites? This is historical knowledge that they teach in the colleges about warfare of history of nations, especially in biblical theology and teachings. Oh yeah, the Hittites fought against the Edomites. They fought each other too. Okay, they talk about this. The issue is, why are these people fighting? Oh, this is where the science was used to say, oh, it's all about the nature of evolution, of how people interpreted the reality that they were experiencing. But who created that? Where did that come from? If evolution is the real science, then where is it in the historical records of the previous civilizations like Rome, Greece, Egypt? Where is it? Where's the evolutionary concept of animals changing from one to another in those civilizations where you have scientific things happening that they don't tell you? Even like how did the Chinese come up with gunpowder? And they even weren't the first ones to get it. Like they told you, okay? Alchemy is the name that comes from an Egyptian, the origin of the Egyptian culture, who they called a god. Chemi was thought to be, he is the god that they affiliate with, Ptah. Yes, alchemy, Kemet is Ptah. You don't understand. They turned him into a god. With his demonstration of how he could use his power in the form of alchemy, and his god was the god that you want to now call Hermes. He worshiped the Anunnaki. Okay? Like other Hamitic tribes. See, people don't understand. You go back in history, everything was tribal. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen again. So this is gonna be two videos that's gonna break up into one because of what happened. So I'll do a part 1 and a part 2. And this is basically gonna be, I didn't get a chance to talk about it. The hidden war they don't want you to know about. All right. So I'm gonna go to the book of Hanukkah, where it talks about the watchers. See, it says even Academy for Ancient Texts. You know, they have a lot of these books. They have a lot of these books that are written down. They say, oh, yeah, well, there's the Hammurabi scrolls, and they have the Sumerian scrolls, and they have all kind of different kinds of scrolls. But they know the Bantu scrolls precede them all, but they don't want to tell you that. The words of the blessings of Hanukkah, Enoch was the son of Cain, wherewith he blessed the elect and righteous, who will be living in the day of tribulation. Okay, this is why they don't want to talk about it, because the day of tribulation was meant to be people who were going to be put into it, who chose to worship false gods. This is why they created this whole concept of a rapture, by the way, for the Christians. And this is why they had to create the theory of evolution for the people who wouldn't even know that they are repeating the days of Noah, because this whole teaching of alchemy, scientific knowledge, it was done before. It was. They just called it something different. Okay. They added the whole concept of evolution. This is why, and nobody ever asked the question, this is why certain places in the world, why are they off limits? What are you trying to hide? Why is it that you can't go, even in America? They have plus stuff that's fenced off as always under the guise of military protection. Oh, this is military. This is this is where we have silos and everything. That's not always true. A lot of those military or U.S. government lines is because they have covered up knowledge of ancient civilizations that they don't want you to come and see, because it ruins the narrative about what they told you about the pioneers and about the people who came from Europe. It exposes what they were trying to accomplish, to make the Europeans think that they created everything and they were responsible for the growth of all civilizations, when it's one big fat lie. No, they were not. As a matter of fact, most of the stuff that Europeans got came from the supernatural beings. There were giants around you in the European days. We've been, the Bantu people, you think that when Davidi fought Goliath, that was the last giant that ever lived in existence. Hold on a second. I'm gonna get this chocolate from flying off the face. Sorry. All right. Okay. You think that was the last giant? Oh, David fought Goliath, and that's it for all the giants. No. They lied. They always do. Or, oh yes, giants didn't exist, but the archaeological people who find them are told to keep their mouth shut. People don't even know the original size of Adam's children were way bigger than they are now. Way bigger. But they covered that up. They said, well, then why are we now so short? And there's a reason for that. Okay. When all the wicked and godless are to be removed, the point of the tribulation, this is why they don't want it in there. The point of the tribulation is to get rid of the people that the Creator doesn't want anymore. Not to save the people who are doing wickedness, pretending like they're not, making them think that they're not, or teaching things that contradict what he taught. Okay. You cannot mix, like I said, you cannot mix the creator's knowledge. Sorry. Got it. And I know the Joker, this is why I said this spirit is always hanging around, but I ain't trying to listen to him. Yeah, it's the other one finished, and I'll do it here in a second. All right. So he took up a parable and said, see, parables always come, if you go, like for one, now I'm going to show you, the word for war is vita, and you can see that in the word vitamin, they're going to tell you it's for life, and amine. Amine is amino, the life, amino life, our acids of life. But it's also for the purpose of what? Fighting against any type of sickness. So it's to help with a war in your body. It's designed to keep you from, especially your immune system, they're always fighting the enemies that come in, right? So beta technically is referring to, so when they say Kempa Vita, it means holy war. That's what her name was. Kempa Vita means holy war. Glory Lord, war. So Kempa and Vita means holy war. She was in a holy war with Rome. Now you see where it comes from. All right. So when you look at the book of Hanukkah, it says, so Tata nZambi is in a holy war against Lucifer. The problem is, you think that people that's now fighting a holy war are actually fighting for the Most High when they're not. They're fighting for a war you don't see. They just don't know it. Whose eyes were open. And he says, like it said, whose eyes were opened by Tata nZambi, meaning, you say, well, how can his eyes be open if was he blind? No, it's a spiritual connection. You have spiritual and physical eyes. He has a way to see in the spirit. Okay? He saw the vision of the Holy One in the heavens. So he saw the Most High. He saw Tata nZambi, King Kongo, which the angels showed him. The Maliki Kongo angels, we call them Mbasi. That's where the word embassy comes from, Mbasi, as we've learned. And from them, which means messenger, and from, I've heard everything from them I saw, but not from this generation, but from the remote one, which is to come. So it wasn't about the people during the flood, it was about the future. Where we're sitting now, that's why they don't want to talk about this. You're in this future. Concerning the elect. So these are the people that are chosen. So one of the things that was done over the last 1900 years is to trick people into thinking that they lined up with this scripture of this is where the elect concept first came from. That the apostles, the real apostles, the Abafundi, were teaching. When you look at what happened in Egypt with Babylon, the concept that's always done, especially by the fallen ones, the watchers, is we need to hijack this prophecy of who is the elect and who isn't, because we know the wheat. They knew. You think that Satan don't know the difference between the wheat and the tares? You lost your mind. He knows the difference. Who is the Most High and who isn't? He knows, and he's aware of that there's a list of the people who he needs to stop. There always was. Okay. And looked upon the concerning the Holy One will come forth from his dwelling, the eternal from who tread on the earth, even on Mount, what we know is Mount Kenya. We know what Mount Sinai really is, for those that are exposed to that. It was their mountain, not ours. But and appear in the strength of his might from the heavens of heavens, and shall be smitten with fear, and the watchers shall quake, and great fear and trembling shall seize them unto the ends of all the earth. Okay, Now, one of the things that Hanukkah did, okay, and this is in other scriptures that I've talked about when I talked about uh, Hanukkah, is it talks about how he was called upon to bring the judgments against the watchers and their offspring. And he turned that where they said that the Nephilim would turn on each other and they would turn against the Anunnaki because they were considered offsprings of the watchers. And the watchers would have to destroy their own children, that they would be consumed. And they didn't like this adjustment because now it's like but of course, Shaitani, when it comes to him, he never likes to be told what to do with his kingdom by the Most High, but he don't have a choice. Now, what happened? This became the war of, because they renamed the Creator's earth when they were the land of Nod, where Cain built his city. If it didn't exist, then the word nod wouldn't be in your vocabulary. Like I said, Nottingham, nod your head, doorknob, not doorknob. What's the other word with nod in it? Let me see if I can pull that up. See. This is, you're gonna find out that this is how they know that his cities were real when I show you this. And it was always, let's see, it's always been about Cain. Like they talked about Cain. So when you look at all these words, they put his city, you can see how it's worked into the language. This is how they formed the English language when they use different coding to make sure that this city or his land was in the coding of the language. So if you do this, you'll see, okay, the nod is going to always be a code that they have used, and this is how they communicate. The Canaanite, it's really Canaan, which is why Canaan was actually pronounced Canaan as well, because there was a Canaan in the before, and Canaan was the new Canaan. Okay, and that's one of the reasons why you're going to see the word nod incorporated, because Cain was sent to the land of Nod, where he started to build cities, and of course they became wicked. This is where a lot of your masonry starts. Now, his teacher was not just Adama, but then would become his stepfather. This is where you get stepfather, stepped on, Shaitani. Okay, and stepmother, of course, goes to Lilith, because she would become, quote unquote, the Mother Earth people's mother. That's why the Mwanda, the Bantu people have male and female concepts as well. And our spiritual mother is to be the opposite of Cain's stepmother. Okay. So now, when we look at what took place was, now Hanukkah was connected to Cain's seed, but he wasn't like the evil Enoch that was the son of Cain. Okay. And he was taught by Tata nZambi through the spiritual realm how to bring the earth together in peace, Salama, and how to bring judgments against those who were causing destruction. Excuse me. Many of these judgments included why you call things petrified today, when he brought the melted cities, brought fire. Because a lot of people didn't believe like what was going to happen with the flood either, until their cities started getting jacked up. And the earthquake started doing things. Before the flood even came, there were plagues, okay? Of course, we know about the thorns and thistles. For those who understand that they were eating, you got trees that are thorns and thistles today. People don't understand that the devil whenever the Most High brings curses, this incorporates the devil changing things that will then cause affliction and not help, okay? Tata nZambi is the author of many things, okay? Because he's a righteous judge, he's going to pass a sentence. And this is what people don't get. His sentencing is all based off of what you call disobedience. If you do this, this will be your sentence. If you do that, this will be your sentence. It's just like when you say, you committed a crime. I'm going to find whether or not you were at fault or you're not at fault. If somebody else was at fault, who's going to pay for this crime? And then there's going to be a sentence. This is the Tata nZambi. This is how he works. Okay? He's going to have, you have to, if you do good things, then there's a reward for that. This is how the reward system started. You do bad things, you're going to get a reward for that. There's a good and bad. Okay, you're going to get a good reward, or you're going to get a sentence. You're going to get in trouble. Just like when you have mothers and fathers out here. This is why people don't understand. It's like the Creator works like parents. You have rules, but he is the creator of all things. So his sentencing can include death or things that will cause you to die over a period of time in your body. That's why the wages of sins is death, is that when you do things that cause you to sin, okay, your body will now not function the way it's supposed to. It's going to be going towards the grave rather than faster than what it should. It won't go slowly. It picks up speed and it goes faster. And they have already, people who have talked about how they have engineered things for this in their oaths for this very process, because they are the gods of death. They are connected to the gods of death. Okay. So now, when Hanukkah passed the judgment that now these beings will destroy each other and be at war against each other with no peace. This is going to explain why you're at wars today. You cannot have peace without the nZambi. He said there will be no peace among these creatures. And even the creation that they have created, there shall be no peace. They will destroy each other. What they have created, that was an abomination. Okay? What this started is what they call Tartaria, Barbaria, Atlantis. It started a war. They mock it in the movie Transformers, that you think it's a fictitious. You don't know that the Hollywood people who run Hollywood are taking Torah, and incorporated it into movies. The Tula, really. That's why many of the people who are creating movies come from Jewish backgrounds. They've taken their stories and modified the stories, especially Bantu culture. They've taken Bantu stories And they modified them so you don't see and recognize, because the devil had to tell them the truth. He did this through creating a genre where you think it's false, when he's giving you codes to how he took you into down the rabbit hole, or how he deceived you. Okay, that's the whole concept behind Alice in Wonderland. You're in the crazy world, thinking that it's okay, when really you're and then anybody who doesn't see the crazy world as okay, you are the one that's crazy, because they flipped it. It's Lucifer's on top. The Most High put his people into captivity, so he sits on a prince of the earth. And so now this war that has been going on even then, that continued after the flood, is still happening, but you're not supposed to see it. The Star Wars. Okay, that's why they had to make up what stars are, so you wouldn't understand. No, these are Malekis, angels, these are Mbab. This is all that are giving off light. And this knowledge that we have received comes from Mount Hermon. That's why they put Mount Hermon in the movies. Logo, Paramount. But you ain't supposed to know that. Okay? The Hittites never stopped worshiping their gods. That's why Tata nZambi never wanted us to incorporate them into our society. When we made a mistake in being stupid, said we were better off with the heathens and Maccabee. People don't understand the world is in the array that it is because the Bantu people never learned to stay with their father. I'm going to tell you right now, if the Bantu people would have learned to stay with their father, none of this would be happening the way that you see it today. It would be a totally different world, completely void of the stuff that you see today. Completely different. If the Bakongo, nZambi, Bena Isolede never would learn to have not listened to Lucifer. Okay? You have a different world today. Completely. You would know the difference. Because the Bakongo, nZambi, Bena Isolede, the history they know could demonstrate powers beyond the imagination when they were in obedience to the God that they serve. That's why they wanted to create knowledge and hide the truth about things that have happened, because they understand, the fallen ones understand, if these people are strong again, that's it for us. So we must make it look like we never existed. And if we can't get them to make it look like they never existed, then make them think that they needed a savior when they are the saviors, like the Messiah taught them. And make them think they got replaced, or that they needed to be saved, when it's like you had to teach them they were no longer the Israelites or the Bantu or the chosen people, that they needed what was the replacement. People thought that they had the salvation. We needed their stuff as the replacements for the 12 tribes, when we were already the 12 tribes that didn't need to be replaced. That was the game that was played on us. It's like, no, Bantu people didn't need to be a Christian. We were already Christian, better than they were. We were not doing the pagan stuff, technically. That's why I said there's a belief and then there's a religion. The belief was already right. We could already do the things the scriptures talk about and more. Okay? But because of the jealousy will always tear us away from the Creator and create hypocrisy. Jealousy leads to all the other sins. Okay? That's what made the dragon fall. He was jealous of Adama. What? This is what created the problem. His jealousy led to where you are today. And us to act jealous like him is why the kingdom of Congo is now in captivity. Again, when Fumu Yusuf said, there's no reason for you to be jealous. We're all the same. What are you talking about? We are Wakanda. We are family. Why do you treat each other the way that you do? You're letting people who hate the Most High, because see, the Khazars, the Phoenicians, the Hittites, the children of Yaphet, Ashkenaz hated the Most High. Like Gomer, like Togarmah and all of them, Magog and Magog, they hated the Most High because they got cursed for listening to the Anunnaki and the Nephilim and being a part of their war. You see, they can only resurge. This is what you don't understand. They were destroyed pretty much already. We brought them back to life. They were banished, they were kicked out, they were whatever, they were done, they were gone. The devil had to trick us to bring them back and worship them as gods again. This is what you're not understanding. And then their war continued. Tartaria, Barbaria, Atlantis, and all the other stuff that they call it now, all been the same. And all of the knowledge that they had a lot of free, man, they had a lot of technological things that they did. Free energy existed before. Unlimited power come from Bantu culture, knowing the truth, and we passed it. Sorry, shoulder hurts. Okay, they stole all the knowledge from Bantu people because we never learned, like Kusa Kongo said, don't give what's righteous and holy unto dogs and pigs, meaning that those who worship the dog god, like I told you, because the dog god was Nimrod and the pig god was Tammuz. They were worshipped as gods among the heathen, along with the gods that they worshiped that came from Caina. Okay? So, of course, they're going to be the ones telling you, oh, we were mythology. There's no gods. Because they don't want to give it away that they hate the Bakongo. They hate Tata nZambi. They hate his people. So don't ever let them know who they are. Because we need the life. We can't continue to exist without the Banabetu believing in us. They don't care about what the heathen believe because that's what they worship. They were worshipped by them already. They need Tata nZambi's chosen to say, yes, you are the gods. Yeah. Hey, we love you. Hallelujah. Praise God. They need Bakongo people to do that. This was the trick or treat of how. Why do you think you got to do? They don't care that the non-Bantu people, non-Bakongo Benanzambi, so they celebrate Halloween. They don't care. They need the people who were the promise to be a part of the folly of all the other nations doing this stuff, believing in their knowledge, believing in their languages, believing in all these different things. That's why they didn't want us speaking our language anymore and tried to kill all the elders and destroy people and get rid of the evidence. Because the bottom line is the only people who could defeat any of the false gods that these people are worshiping were the Bantu people, the Bakongo, the nZambi, the Bena Isole, the Bayuda. When we come with Tata nZambi, we whoop the tail off of Shaitani's people. No contest. How many times did we do this? When we didn't even have to fight. The Most I did it. Hey, go walk around the building, seven, boom, fall down, boom, trumpet, boom. He destroyed the Hittites. Now the Hittites telling you we the people that walked around. He destroyed the Hittites. Now the Hittites are the ones who walked around Jericho and blew the horn. How did this happen? Because the Bana Betu, we never learned. Stop worshiping false gods. Stop giving what's righteous and holy over to demons. We never learned to appreciate what we had. We always had to be around the people who's never satisfied and never what? They're always looking for more. Where did they get that mentality from? Survival of the fittest. That's the whole, they were the survival of the fittest. So evolution comes from them. Cain's seed always had to survive. So they needed help. How do we do this? We got to learn how to, before we die, perish. Because we got thorns and thistles here. Let's see. Let's go to the punishment of Cain. And let's see. The descendants of Cain. Let's go. Once again. Cain knew only too well that his blood guiltless would be visited upon him in the 7th generation. Thus he had God or Tata nZambi decreed against him. He endeavored, therefore, to immortalize his name by means of monuments, and he became a builder of cities. The first of them he called Enoch, after his son. So this is not the one who ascended to Tata nZambi. This is the wicked one. Okay? Because at the birth of Enoch, that he began to enjoy a measure of rest and peace. Besides, he founded 6 other cities. The building of cities was a godless deed, for he surrounded them with a wall. Okay, where do you think castles and walls come from? Why do you think when you see Jerusalem that they talk about now, they you know, like Tata nZambi, we had our walls, okay, but what do you think all these cities had the concept of building a wall? Why do you think they're now building walls around country like they did that America building a wall? Okay, what is it? What does this mean? What are they doing? Okay, forcing his family to remain within. This is the whole concept of really wall building, is to keep you in where they want you and keep others out that could possibly be a problem. He sinned in order, okay, all his, let's see, all his other doings were equally impious. The punishment God or Tata nZambi, King Kongo, had ordained for him did not affect any improvement. See? when this is going to prove to you what continues to happen and why they have to now make up stuff about it. Oh yeah, these floods are just the Mother Nature. This fires are just this and that. Oh, they need to clear the brush. It started by lightning. Who put the light? Who did the lightning? Oh, it's just the weather phenomenon. Really? It's just a coincidence that these things keep happening, right? Oh, yeah. Remember they keep talking about the turbulence, and I did pilot training. Okay, this is when I studied weather. I said obviously because I did studying the weather. I said, man, something is off about what they're teaching here. Even when I did it in school, I said, do you not remember they could teach you how to make a tornado in a jar? So if they can teach you how to make a tornado in a jar, you don't think they got technology that can do the same? Hello? They taught people how to make, oh yeah, you do it, you make this happen, you make this happen. You think they can't make that happen on a larger scale if they can put it in a jar? Okay. People, I'm just like, wow. Okay. That's why they think they're like the gods. But they learned this from the gods who actually do this. The angels start spinning themselves and they can make a tornado. They spin really fast. And then they bring up the dust and boom, your house go flying. Okay? You think the Malekis can't do this? You have lost your mind. They're not like you. They have power. They actually, and then we can do like they do when we're above the angels, like it says in the scriptures. We carry power to do many things. Okay, that people were looking like say, how can a human body? Man, sorry, I put this stuff on my face, and I think that's what it's coming after. But I know Beelzebub trying to play with me. All right. So it says here he sinned in order to secure his own pleasure. Isn't that some of the things that the original the scriptures talk about when people go after their own? Kepler talked about it. People go after their own pleasures, their own thoughts, their own desires. This is why Tata nZambi was like, we have to crucify the flesh so that we don't do the same. But see, that's why the whole system now is engineered for you to do whatever you want. Because they're running off of the aristocratic stuff that they have now brought into the society. But where do you think Aleister Crowley got it from? Okay, the rule of Telema. Telema is another name for Lilith. He excited his apprentice to produce pleasure and spoils for robbery. Okay, so here we go. Where do you think crimes really came from? They just started robbing people yesterday. No, people don't. He sinned in order to secure his own pleasure, though his neighbors suffered injury thereby. So that means, I told you, Adama had other children. Not just that's what in Setu was. We stayed away from him. So there was I told you, there's other people, and even his own children. He argued he augmented his household substance by raping. Or this is where you get raping. Who started rape and violence? Why you say this is called, they now call it pillaging and plunder. That's what started to happen after. Remember what happened with Babylon and Canaan, and Put had his land, and even some of Nsamu's children and Yapeta. They started doing plundering and pillaging. Okay, burning down, destroy, divide and conquer comes from this guy. He also introduced a change in ways of simplicity written men had lived before. He was the author of measures and weights. Knowledge. You think they just happened to start figuring out how to measure things and build things and all this other stuff? But see, the knowledge that he's coming up with, Tata nZambi is already aware of these type of things already. It isn't like the knowledge he has, oh, he just came up with it. No, man. There's spirits involved. And whereas men lived innocently and generously while they knew nothing of such art, he changed the world into cunning craftiness. See, Adama and Setu, you don't think in Seth was teaching the world right. His other brothers, he was teaching his other brothers and sisters right. But Cain, that's why he says, stay away from Cain. Because this is what he's teaching. Okay? So yes, there's other people there. They covered it up. They had more children. That's why they even said they had sons and daughters. It's even in the book of Genesis. They did all they had was Cain and Seth. And no, they lie. It says they had sons and daughters. Like unto Cain, all his descendants and pious. Okay? So it says, like unto Cain were all his descendants, impious and godless, wherefore Tata nZambi resolved to destroy them. You're seeing, this is why they had to create the concept of the science that they're teaching, because they don't want you to know you live in exactly the same way like he and his people are. Now they created, judgments. Oh, we have judges and that's all going all the way back to Canaan. The same system was in place from Robbie's code. And I'm like, but these people were hypocrites. The wealthy people always did what? They made the rules, but then they made them for what? For you, not for them. But then they had to abide by whatever the rules were for Shaitani and Tata nZambi, that they had to figure out a way to escape. This is where they got what they call, they either had to figure out, hey, I'm about to die, I'm going to transfer my soul into somebody else and let this flesh, I'm not going, I don't want to face the Most High. That's why you got people that they're going to tell you they've been here for years, thousands. They've been here a long time. Hopping by. All right, we don't want to see my Tata. Hey, we're going to die. Oh, no. Hey, we don't want to see the Most High. They know. They did it, the mockery in the movie, The Fallen. The devil comes in the flesh, people. Not just, he could come any way. He could come in the form of water. That's why they put in the book of Joshua. He could change on, he can come anything of the creation in order to entice you to continue not to do the Most High's will. He will play that game. He also introduced, the end of Cain overtook him in the 7th generation men. He was inflicted upon by him of his grandson Lamechah, the great grandson Lamechah. That's why when Setu and Cain, they came to merge together because of the trick that Lucifer did. Noka and Tubal Cain and Jubal Cain and Jabal Cain were brothers. That's why they hated the fact, why do you get to save the world and we don't? The Most High is not gonna. They were listening to Satan. No, Tata nZambi is not gonna do that. You stupid. We never heard from. No, we don't know this. Okay, he's not gonna kill all of our children and no. Tata nZambi said, I'm gonna kill you guys because look at what you have done here with the Watchers and the Anunnaki. And all these other gods you worship, they made it, like you said, you are trying to immortalize the name of Cain. Did they not succeed in immortalizing the name of Cain? Do you not see the name of Cain in the English language. I showed you in a previous video, you put the word, where's the word Cain? And then they put that H, because the many languages incorporated the H, like even Congo, when it became a C instead of a K, the ch sound was created. And chain and cane, ball and chain, ball and cane mean the same thing. Why would, this is why you consider your wife a burden rather than a blessing. How does that happen? When does your wife become a burden to you rather than something? Is because you chose to be like Cain. So your family will be, your wife and you will be, you will have no peace in your household. That's why when you serve the correct God, your house has peace. When you're following the wrong God, your house has no peace. Why do you think children don't listen? Why you don't listen? If you had Tata nZambi inside of you, man, you think the kid gonna go, oh, they're gonna see a different kind of rage where they're gonna notice, I better stop. And you can see when some people can do this. They'll say, don't you move. Oh, Mr. So-and-so. You know how that happens? With especially, that's why they always say, man, why do we always see that a lot of the black teachers can handle their class? My mom was a teacher, but ooh, my mom, there used to be people that used to come in there. How do you control your class like this? What do you do? It's in her DNA. She's a God. She got this. I try to explain. I said, we have this in us. We already could do it. We have the law. When they see us, oh, it better not. Miss Bailey going, ooh. They recognize Tata nZambi in King Congo. Ooh. That's why they wanted to hit. They hated us. Those who were really like Satan, they always gonna buck up. Hey, who are you guys? Hey, what you gonna do to me? Hey, stupid. We the gods here. They always gonna want to challenge. Hey, yeah, Cain out here. We don't fear you until they get a whooping, right? But those who are fearing, that truly fear the Most High, this is when they see you demonstrate the Most High power. Oh, I better not do that. I better not do this. The discipline concepts. Who taught the nations how to have the right discipline? That's why the Most High said, my law has always been there, but there are those who choose to, they pick and choose how to follow it. But when you are doing it the right way, whoa, that nZambi's, he will manifest. Okay. And the end of Cain overtook him. Once upon a time, he and his sons went out on the chase, and the lad discerned something horned in the distance. He naturally took it to be a beast of one kind or another. He told the blind Lamech to his arrow. Okay, this is how you kill him, right? So now, when Methuselah, so you said the earth opened her mouth and swallowed up the 4 generations. See how it says the earth opened up. So that means the Most High, you think this is going to wait till you see. Hey, what do you think is really happening with volcanoes and earthquakes? When they came close to the victim, they said, Father, thou hast killed something that resembles a human being in all respects, except it carries a horn on its forehead. They had the mark. Now you see where the horn, now you see where the unicorn horn comes from, really. Lamech knew at once what had happened, and he had killed Cain, his ancestor, who had been marked by Tata nZambi with a horn, which was a letter from one of his names. This is where you get your horn and trumpet stuff from. In despair, he smote his hands together, inadvertently killing his son as he clasped him. And this is Tubal Cain. So Lamech, that's what I try to tell you, Noah and Lamech and Tubal Cain were brothers, but he didn't know. He died before Noah. Well, I don't know. Noah might have been a baby, so he could have been born. But Jubal, he had two other brothers, Jabal and Tubal. So Tubal, Jabal, and Tubal. And those two brothers said, oh, we're going to get revenge for this. Those are the ones who started the war against, who wanted to destroy Norca. That's why he said, hide yourself. Okay? But Lamech argued, if Cain had committed murder of malice aforethought, he was punished by the seventh generation, then I had no intention of killing a human being. May hope that retribution will be averted from 77 generations. 77. That's quoted everywhere. With his wives, Lamech repaired to Adama, who heard both parties. So Adama is still alive. So he heard, so here's Adama, Adama listening to Lamech. What happened? And he decided the case in favor of Lamech. Oh, so Adama wasn't a judge? He was not Tata nZambi doing, oh, okay. Do you see where the court system started? He went to his elder, he went to his Tata. Hey, Adama, okay? Now, it could have been in spirit too, because I think, because you know, we had the thing that happened when Satani pretended to be him, okay? The corruptness of the times, and especially the depravity of Cain's stock, appears in the fact that Lamech, as well as all the men in the generation of the deluge, married two wives with the purpose of rearing children, the other in order to pursue carnal indulgences. That's why you have to be careful about the whole concept of multiple wives, because what they were really doing was for indulgences, not for the holy reasons. You can see that happening in many other cultures already. Oh, that's our wealth and our thing, and it determines our how much we have, and this is our blessing. Okay, like I said, they're doing this in Islam. The Christians only have one wife, they have multiple wives in Islam. Who's blessing whom? If Allah is Satan and Jesus is not, okay, then how are they getting their wealth? You don't understand. Okay? All right. So you said the two wives of Lamech, Ada, I got an aunt with that name, Zillah, bore him each two children, Ada, two sons, Jabal and Jubal, and Zillah, a son, Tubal Cain, and a daughter, Nama. Jabal was the first among men to erect temples to idols. And Jubal invented the music sung and played therein. Oh no, the music industry just happened to just come up with music. Ah, yeah, right. That's why Tata nZambi was telling me, or the mother was saying, the offspring of Cain who died in the flood have become the demons that are now manifesting in the singers you're hearing on TV. They could sing. You know what? They couldn't sing. Okay? They can sing because the Maleki Congo, even Shetani's angels can sing because they used to sing the Tata nZambi. You think they don't know how to sing? They know how to change it up so you're not talking to the Most High. Yeah. Why do you think they don't want to put this in the Bible? Oh, no, this is all Gnostic and this. Yeah, because now you're going to find out they played you. All this whole music industry that happened and the singing and dancing for all the generations, because you think that singing and dancing just happened in the last, 200 years? No. You had people doing campfire, the tribal songs, they're singing, they're clapping, they're making music. Even the white people ancestors did this. Yeah. Okay. And they were skipping and jumping and down. That's why that's why they have their own different beat. It was up. They were always skipping and jumping, while yeah. Okay. They haven't changed one bit in the several generations of their ancestors. They still just jumping around and okay. Do you not see that? Do you think the mosh pit stuff that the guy was doing that stuff was going on back in the day. People were just hitting each other. It's in the DNA. That's not nothing new. They've been doing that. For which the latter, the corruption of time, it says, Tubal was not named for the work of his ancestor Cain. Cain committed murder, and Tubal Cain, the first he knew how to sharpen iron, copper, furnish the instruments used in war and combat. Oh, we just happen to learn now how to make weapons of war. What? And of course, in this entire scripture, they're leaving out the fact that they're talking to the watchers. Because remember how in the book of Hanukkah, they're teaching them men how to do these things, right? How to cut the roots and everything, and how to put makeup on. The lovely earned her name from her sweet sounds, which she drew from her symbols when she called worshippers to pay homage to idols. Did you not see that this is the culture that happened from Canaan and Babylon and Egypt and all of these things? They're doing it today, even in church. Hallelujah. The symbols and the dancing. Okay. Now, Bantu people, we knew how to make these things, but who did we pay homage to with it? That's why we learned how to dance. We do the dancing with the whining and the angels, and we do the dancing and they do like the joke up and the okay. Our hand movements, moving like this, dancing, the Kimbo, okay. We learned how to dance like the Malekis that really worship the Most High. Okay. What you don't understand about what these people are hiding, and this is what they did. The war never stopped between the Nephilim and the Anunnaki and the Watchers and all of that. And they never stopped warring against King Kongo, Tata nZambi either, because they wanted to what? Destroy his kingdom. So they were always trying to convince the children of Hanukkah, of Noka, we want you to go kill Tata nZambi because he destroyed us children in the flood. We don't want this to ever happen again. We don't ever want to see Kaina's spirit or whatever. We don't want to see this to ever happen again. So they had to trick, and Semu was like, hey, have nothing to do with these wicked beings. He did not indulge in their folly. even though he did make a mistake a few times, okay? It wasn't like he was perfect. He knew that I'm not supposed to worship stupid Nimrod as no God. No way. That's why they don't mention him in the Talmud and all these other. They hate him because they don't like the fact that he's the one that killed. He told them, kill Nimrod dead. He out there marrying his mother and what? He out here doing what? The sexuality, man. The wickedness that they were doing in Babylon. Oh my gosh! You think what you think Sodom? What you think they're doing now on TV? Oh yeah, we're gonna go partying down the street half naked, wearing all kind of. Oh man, you think that just started now? You see the Christians out there. How can this be? Your ancestors were doing that. What are you talking about? Go look at how they worship Jupiter and how they. Oh, what is this? You go see how they were praying to Zeus and all the parties and the. Oh, you think this just happened today? The toga party, you really don't know what we're doing at the toga party. Okay? The rich people have been doing this for years, for civilizations, for generations. This is nothing new. But they just started to act like, oh, we're so nice, we're so humble, we're so righteous now because we know Jesus Christ. And what? You go look at what Christians were doing between 33 AD up until 100 years ago. Only now. We ain't even talking what you want to see what they did in the 1800s, what them Christians were doing. Oh, man, you really don't know. You, what is this? I'm like, they put y'all to sleep. You think that you just became holier than thou in the last 100 years because, oh, I know. You should have seen your ancestors. You should have seen them. What the pastor used to do to people that used to sin, hey, come on. You're talking about some condemnation up in this piece. I told you, his wife used to walk around with a cage on her head because she was a gossip. What? With a chain. They're walking her with a chain. They used to, oh, they branding people, you're a sinner, like to do the cattle. You think they lynching you? They lynch black people, but they lynch other people too. Okay? You have no clue. They had to tone it down. Tone it down for the 1900s. Tone it down. And they didn't really tone it down in the South because you see what they were doing. Okay? No, we're gonna kill them niggers. God favor us white folks. We're gonna kill them niggers. Where does the Bible, when Jesus Christ, you accept me, my Lord, said, where does he separate between white and black? Hello? You might, if I receive Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior, we're the same. What are you talking about? So obviously, you can't have the Holy Spirit and the white people going out killing the black Christians if they're supposed to be worshiping the same God. No way. We have been brainwashed, people, and that has never changed. The white man, okay, the Europeans and those who doing this, what they believe in Christianity, they are not talking to the real creator. If they were, you think that they would have been acting the way when he didn't tolerate none of that stuff? Are you crazy? The stuff that they do, he would have been like, you got to go. Peace out. No, sir. There's no way he would tolerate when he didn't even let his own people do it. Why would he let them get away with it? Because we're the chosen people. Now we can do whatever we want. Say what? My people couldn't just do whatever they wanted. Are you crazy? Look at this. Starting wars, making laws that got people getting jacked up, and you doing the same thing, hypocrites. The world has become so hypocritical because of people who believe. That's why you got people now saying, oh, there was no gods. That was all a lie. Yeah, because the hypocrites, they spoiled it for everybody. Because they listened to the hypocritical gods. The proud. Where you think pride even came from? Or jealousy? Hello? I'm too proud to bow down to Adam. Excuse me. You want me to do it like that? I'm not bowing down to this dude. No. I'm jealous. Why should he be above me? No way. Where do you think it comes from? He is not greater than me. I am a God. I am an angel of you. Made me fire with fire. Are you serious? We made this creation. How's he going to be above me? And he's still tricking you to think that you're above him when you're not. He playing so many games because he's going to tell you, oh yeah, you worship the God of creation and you're above me and you can't even do nothing hardly with power. You got people out here doing so many things that you know if you had the power of the Most High, they would freeze. Whoa. What? They would come, man, they would come around you. Who sent you? Where did you come from? Who is this? What did you do? Or they would tell people, no, stay away from that guy. Stay away from that guy. That's Satan. That's Satan. That's what they're doing. No, we taught you the right way. No, you Christians, this is it. You don't even know who was teaching you. Were the people that were deceiving the whole world. The Sanhedrin's been teaching you Christianity. What are you talking about? They were the ones that put him on the cross. Mm-hmm. The Romans are teaching you how to be holy. And they're the ones that help pass the judgment. How can this be? Those who immortalized idol worship cannot teach you how to not worship idols. It's not possible. It has to be the ones who were told never immortalize idols. And they lied about who those people are. The Banabetu of Isolele were the ones who were always the ones that had an issue when we had idol worship. No, what are you doing? Get up out of here. That's why even Toko said, do you still have your idols among you? When he was talking to his congregation, to his people, where are your little trinkets? Where are you? Do you still go to the juju house? He was saying. You think we don't, and we still do. Jealousy was always, and pride was always the greatest weapon that the fallen ones used to keep Bakongo, nZambi, Bena Isolele people from being in Twari and Wakanda. Always. He turned tribe against tribe, I don't know how many times. He turned kingdom against kingdom how many times? Look what happened between Benyamun and Yaoundé. Hey, they killed a woman, they went raping. Where did raping come from? Kaina. This is why we got people who leprous among ourselves who turn white. With incest, yes. There was incest being practiced among the Banabetu. Like the nations, they think that You think these people, their ancestors weren't messing with sister and cousin and all of that? Go somewhere. Look at the lineage of the kings. They don't ever go out of it. Oh yeah, no, we can't marry outside of our bloodline. Are you kidding me? They still doing this stuff. Oh, but it's against the law. Oh yeah. Well, look at your leaders, man. Why you think you're gonna be shocked to see how they're related? Oh, Roosevelt didn't have to change his name to his wife because he married his third cousin. Now, of course, they said that's legal. And but not everybody didn't go. They went. Why you think you always see this issue with people molesting their children? What spirit do you think this is? You think just because you got married to the right person in your mind and you raised your child and you did the right things, okay, that the knowledge that you were given to do that was accurate. You cannot learn from pagans how to not be a pagan. No way. They never gonna stop being a pagan. This is the trickery that continued to happen. They said, oh, we accept Jesus Christ and Lord and Savior. I was listening to the conversation with this rabbi and this Christian person. And he said the Torah says we're supposed to destroy idol worshipers. I said, well, then you need to go destroy yourself because Jewish people worship in Baal. They know the Torah, the Talmud comes from Nimrod. That's not an idol. That's why King Kongo was like, let he or she who is without sin cast the first stone. Kusana Kongo said, if someone used to say, hey, you don't sin? You're not an idol worshiper? Look what you did to my father's temple. He went crazy. You out here worshiping Satan. That's not idol worship. He went in there and started tearing up the place. Hey, what is this? Robbery? That's Kaina. You worshiping Cain. You worshiping Moloch. You think you're not? The whole world is worshiping Moloch. Everybody's an idol worshiper in ways they don't even know. The Banabetu of Isolele, Bakongo, Bayuda, we the ones that were never supposed to bow down to idols. And what happened again? Oh, we gone into captivity. Oh, come this way. They're beating you, pow, whips and chains. Now they have incorporated that into sexuality, and it's, oh yeah, we enjoy it. Where do you think this come from? Hello? Oh, that's all scientific evolution. Oh, this and that, the Neanderthal. Boy, these water spirits and these spirits of the air have got people blind. Because the devil is the prince of the air, and the water spirits are the Leviathan spirits in the sea. You're worshiping an idol. Everybody's religion is doing that. Everybody's worshiping the golden calf, especially the people running the world. And they know it. But they're going to tell you, oh, it doesn't exist. When they're the ones that made you, oh man, I'm telling you, okay? They changed everything so that you would, that's how they know Christians are an idol worshiper, because they changed it. But they don't see themselves. They worshiping Lilith, but they ain't gonna tell you that. They never stopped worshiping Astarte. Are you kidding me? They never stopped worshiping Tammuz. They following the Babylonian calendar. Do you think they're not idol worshiping? That's why they don't want the truth to be known. Because it all comes crumbling down. And see, watch, you're going to see this war between these wicked demons that they've been fighting, that they're all participating in, that you don't see, is about to come to an end. And all this knowledge that they're sending out here that came from that poison apple, and you don't think it did, you're going to see that's what the Black Rock is. What do you think the Black Rock organization is? The cube. That came from Mount Hermon. Okay, go do this. They put it in Transformers. That's the war between the Nephilim and the Anunnaki. Are you serious? And what do you call it? And what do you call, and the Watchers. For the knowledge. They're trying to get the rest of the knowledge for Tata nZambi. No, sir. Who? You're not getting the rest of the knowledge from me. You're telling them, no way. The Mwanda cannot give wicked people my holy knowledge. I don't give my knowledge. That's why he told Kusokon to tell them, you don't give my knowledge to people who don't deserve it. Because I'm not giving it away. I have knowledge that I'm not teaching anybody that's wicked. No way. You see? There's going to come out some knowledge. It's going to make these people feel like idiots. Oh, wow, we could have done all like that. And like, yeah, but you didn't, so goodbye. You didn't do it right. There's going to be some knowledge coming out to the Christians. Huh? What? To the Muslims? You got to be kidding me. Even to the Jewish people. Oh, we didn't know that. Gonna blow them away. Boom. Yeah, you thought you knew. Even Shaitani gonna be like, hey, you never taught us that. Why would I? You said kick rocks. You said, I don't want to bow down. You're not my son. You bastards. Why would I teach you? It's gonna come out, oh man. It's gonna be crazy. You don't even know. You haven't, the knowledge of this earth hasn't even scratched the surface. We don't even, the bounty people, that's why Kusa Kongo said, I don't even know. Only my father knows. Fumiyisu said that. The Mwanda search, you can never, ever have all the knowledge. No way. But if you're going to sit there and be puffed up and think, oh, I know everything and you are ignorant and you're foolish, that's the days of Noah. Right there, they said, oh, you people are stupid. We got preaching to them to 500 years. Oh, yeah. No. We know. They're talking about where the word I really comes from. You don't even know where that letter comes, what's affiliated. Why did they change the E sound to an I sound? The I never was pronounced with I, it was E, like they do in Latin. Or the I, privacy, previous, or it was like, this is how the whole concept of the vowels were incorporated. Okay? Bantu people never said the I, like the way they do it. Isu. Okay, we didn't say like they say pilot. It would be pilote. Pilot. You know, it would never have been an I. The I comes from the I God. They know. This is when the English language, you go look at the old English, there's no long I know. The I and the nay comes from the Roman, because they were also worshiping the I God, Sol Invictus. You really don't get it. When this world gonna find out, like he said in his wisdom, you know, thus when you offer your prayers, do like this. Some more prayers, right? Hear us, Creator, Tata nZambi. Just as you heard your intimate servant and accepted him and provided him refuge from everything, from everything, providing, I would make sure to say, the one is saying, the missing text really should say, according to everything that's wicked or like unholy, okay? You are the Almighty One, and we would say, Tata nZambi and Pungu, that's what's missing there, okay? You are the knowledge of the serenity of the lonely. Please listen to us, Wikichila, as you listen to your chosen. By their offerings to you, they will return. That's why they're breaking out the Zepania. From then I will return to the people of pure language, that they may call upon me, the name of Tata nZambi, to serve him with one consent. And he said, from beyond the rivers of Cachopia, my dispersement will bring mine offering. And this will be the remnant. There was always a remnant. Do you think everybody left Egypt? No. You think everybody left Babylon? No. You think everybody left Persia? No. You think everybody was not jacked up because of the Greeks and got scattered again? Not everybody comes back to Tata nZambi. And it's going to happen again. So don't say all of Isolde. The army may be all of Isolde, but that doesn't mean that everybody's going to come back home. He's going to say, they're coming to me, I'm going to rebuke many. Through their devoted activity, they have saved their souls from the limbs of ignorance in order to live eternally. What did he just say? That's why they don't want to put this in the Bible. Your ignorance leads you to your destruction. They have made the world ignorant, but intelligent at the same time. I will teach you. When the time of death comes, you will initially be met with darkness. Don't be afraid and say, look, out of this comes, rather when you see, because they got multiple, the Bantu culture, we have the original. And it's and see when he, okay, the Mon is saying in the Kikongo, what should be there, okay? You will begin to see the Kalunga manifest. You will, but see, if you're not coming up there, this is where you go to darkness, where the Nation of Teeth, and you stay eternally separated, wherever that puts you. But if you are a person that has been taught by Kuswa Kongo, has been taught by the Mwanda, and has been taught to do righteous things and not be wicked, and to not, do what you call it, people who do iniquity works, where what they're doing is they're teaching people to stumble rather than to be saved in the name. And they said, didn't I cast out demons? Okay, he's talking about the people that when they did their walk, they did everything they possibly could, okay, to move towards their righteousness and run away and get away from the sins. The problem that we're facing here in this world is you don't even know when you do it, because everything has been changed. You sin every day without even knowing it. People don't even know, okay? They have tricked it like that. And then that's why people say, yeah, there's no God. And that's because you're surrounded by demons that have suppressed this. You can have demons upon you and not act like somebody who's possessed. Yeah. You can have demons upon you and still think that you're normal. Because they play like that. It depends on what you're supposed to be according to when you were born. They have already dictated your life. That's why Tata nZambi said, my people, we have, our life was supposed to be dictated from the time you're born. You get the blessing, you get the knowledge of who you are, and you go and learn according to what you are chosen to do. Where we got ticked off at each other, as I said, oh, I want to be a prophet. I don't want to be this. No, this is what Tata nZambi asked you to do. He wants you to do this, not that. You are chosen for this. That's how the devil worked against us. By getting you to decide to do what you wanted to do and not the job you were assigned from birth. That's why when you see what Mfumu Yusuf said, he told his father, I wasn't born to be a carpenter, but this, I'm helping you because I'm learning to do my father's work. My job was to go out and show the people how to get salvation. My brother's job is the carpenter, run the business. We all had our own positions. You will be this servant, you will be this, but you don't mistreat each other. Whatever Tata nZambi would decide, you had to do it with joy, with gladness, with thanksgiving, with offering and acceptance. And there were those who said, I don't want this job, I want that job. Who causes that? Who causes you to think like that? Jealousy. That's why he had to say, hey, don't covet this. Don't want what your brother has or what you do, what you're called to do. Does the world operate like that? No, it does not. We have to go and participate to make money the world's way because we rejected what we were supposed to really be doing. And that's why now the world's in chaos. And they think that everything that they're doing now, oh yeah, participating in sports, that's a Roman-based concept that they have now made it dumbed down to be, oh, God and Jesus is in it. God and Jesus is Sol Invictus and Apollo again. Just like before with Jupiter, the Jupiter games. You really don't know and understand. You have been made to compete to eat. Because that's what Tata nZambi did to them. They had to compete to eat. We didn't have to do all of like that. No. Our obedience gave us everything we needed according to what the Most High felt you needed. And we were not poor. We were not suffering like how the Europeans and them, they were, oh, wow, they were suffering. Oh, they were crying in the mud and everything. They were dirt. You don't know, they don't know, they don't remember. That's why they don't want to go back and remember their past. We don't want to remember where we came from. We know what that was like. So they cover it up with all the stuff that they're doing today. And they don't even do the Most High, anything for the Most High. And watch what's going to happen to them. They're going to lose everything they're trying to hang on to. Hey, we don't want to go back to how it was before. We remember our ancestors and what they did. They don't. You think they don't know? Yes, they do. They remember how they were treated in the past. Many of them do. They have their lineage there. They know what they were. Oh, wow, we used to get beat down with the whip and the what? They used to have the noblemen and and the Duke of Earl is really a title for the fallen angels. They remember how the serf system worked, and the king and the queen and the monarchies. They remember, okay, and they're like, hey, we don't want to go back. We want this kingdom to last forever, how we got it with our civilization. And Tata nZambi's like, oh boy, these cities of Cain, these cities of Cain have to go because they don't even know that they are acting worse than before. And they're even more deceived than the last time because they have convinced themselves that they are following the way of the Creator, and they're going the complete opposite. They're sinning every day thinking they saved. Are you serious? You're doing your own thing every day. You are teaching your children false gods. That's why you're so blind. And you don't even see it. You're naming your children after demons. You're naming your children after demons. No, I'm not doing the thumbs up. No, don't go there. I'm not part of that. Okay? But you are naming your children after false gods. And then you wonder why your children are suffering out here? Seriously? You wonder why you're dealing with so many problems in your body and what's going on with your health, and you curse yourself just by calling your own name? You don't know. They wanted to make sure you don't know who you are because they don't care what the other nations think. That's why I don't even care. Like people talking about, I don't care what you think. It's not about what you think. The Creator going to understand this. He put me here to show you Cain is tricking you. If you don't want to believe it, that's your choice. You are calling on Cain and his gods in every aspect of the world. You're not talking to King, the real Creator. They substituted Cain for him because that's who Nimrod was in spirit anyway. You are calling upon Cain. That's why you say, oh, I hear God talking to me. Yeah, Cain will talk to you in the spirit, but he's gonna lead you like you're gonna do following the wrong angels, the halo instead of the crown, and you're gonna do the worldly things. That's why I said I don't care what the world says to me. I don't love the world the way that I don't love Cain's world. Cain can have his world. Okay, I'm just mad that I didn't see it sooner to understand that I should have never been doing some of the stuff that I was doing in the past. It's like, wow, what was I thinking? And how is it that other people don't see this? I get it now. You want Cain's world? The Most High said like this, hey, y'all want Cain? You can have Cain. I'm going to take mine and we're going to do this thing here. Separate. And he said, look, y'all going to come with? You're welcome to come if I let you. If not, you go where Cain going for good. As I said, all those guys. You want to keep believing what these people teaching you in college and everything is benefiting the Creator? Go right ahead. It's all Cain's knowledge. Cain run the churches. Cain run the businesses. Cain run the governments. Cain run all of that. That's the Gentile heathen way. That's Cain's way. You want us to keep doing Cain's way? Most High's like, hey, then keep on stepping. That's why it says, Let them be ignorant, let them stay ignorant. Let them be wicked, let them be wicked still. But you who know that that is not salvation, then our job is to help edify the people who want to get away from these lies. Let them go down with the ship of Cain. Go right ahead. We know, oh, no, the chosen be like, oh, no, no, not me. That Jesus Christ you teaching me is Cain. I'm not doing that. That God over there, that religion you see about, that's Cain. I'm not going back in that whorehouse. Yeah, I'm calling it that because Lilith is the one that you praying to. And I'm not just talking about the church, the synagogue, the mosque, the temples of whatever religion you are in. You can stay there with that. We should have never left King Kong. Tata Congo is sitting there looking at us like, see, I told y'all you should have never gone back to Rome. You should have never let none of this happen. We wouldn't even have to worry about the protest that happened with Martin Luther at all if we would have been Wakanda, Kintwari, in the Kingdom of Congo. Now we found out. I always say, mess around, you're going to find out. Yeah, as a nation, we found out. Oh yeah, we found out all right. You don't even know who you are, and you're believing in things that they're telling you, and it's all for your demise. There's no pastor going to tell me when we already knew. No pastor out here going to be able to teach me, my God, when he don't even know my God. No way. He never knew my God. He don't know who King Kongo is. He don't know Tata nZambi and Puma. And if they want to call him a demon, oh, that's satanic, okay. We'll see who's right and who's wrong real soon. Obviously, you see what's happening around the world and the people that's going through some stuff right now and getting hit hard with a lot of stuff, the homelessness, buildings getting burned down, earthquakes, floods. This is just, climate change. You got people talking about, how they want to depopulate and stuff like that. You think this is no different than the days of Egypt. Your gods are turning against the Egyptians, the Babylonians, like before. Your gods are turning against you. Because the nZambi's like, hey, now all my enemies of me that want to go the way of Cain must now suffer like Cain did. Let's go to 7th generation. Just like when Cain was born. Go back 7 generations ago. Everything went downhill. It's 70 times 7. This is where you can get. Oh man, this thing went out. Hold on. Is it still running? It must have come back on. What is it on? Sorry. It jumped back to the other one because my Wi-Fi went off. My hotspot. Let's go back to when we go, because it's 70 generations. That's how the Most High does it. 70, not what they do. 490 years ago. This is 2023. We're coming up. 1533. What was going on in the Kingdom of Congo? Okay, I told y'all about 1570 is about the time that they finally got us really going in the direction they wanted us, because the war was pretty much in their favor. You take 1570. That's 453 years ago. The world was you have no idea what the world was like in the 1500s that they lied about. They have erased so much in the last 70, in the last 7 generations. That's 500 years. That's how long when Noka and Methuselah was preaching to Cain was about 500 years. People, from the time we went, it was 1490, I think 1490 was when they finally did the signature with Rome. That's 533 years ago. 533. Okay. So when you do that, and it's not really the years are off because it's really like the whole daylight savings and stuff that they did caused changes. Okay. When we go by that, because see, the Gregorian calendar didn't even exist in 1490. It was the Julian calendar. So they really changed it up after that. When you go look and see when the Gregorian calendar was invented, I already talked about it, but it came out 1582. So now you look at, that's another change in the times and laws. You go and you do the math on that to 2023. You have 441 years of a false calendar that we were not following when we were in the Kingdom of Congo. No, sir. We were on Hanok. We were Methuselah. We were doing the right calendar. We have 4. That's if you do the numerology, that's a 9. That's a 9. What is the kingdom number? 9. The 6 and the 9, 9 and the 6. 441 years of a lie. Oh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. We didn't do that. We did it just like this. Mosi, Zoli, Tatu, Ya, for Yala, Tanu, Sambanu, Samwadi, Nana. I see, let's stop. Samwadi. That's how we counted the days of the week. There was no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Sunday. We knew about Sunday from them. Domingo, Sundia came from us. Lingo in Spanish. When did the word Sunday get incorporated into the language? Was in the English. We called the Samwadi del Sundia at the same time. Because we counted 1, 2, but see, our 8th day was considered a Passover or some kind of festival for us that followed the real scriptures. These people don't know nothing about this because they hid the facts. Okay, they don't know nothing about the 1500 because that's when they started changing everything up and lying their tails off, knowing that we now know that this is a fact. Colon was a Banabetu who was actually practicing Judaism, who didn't want to die, so he became a Catholic. Oh, he was a Marano, brown, no white dude. He's tricked us to help go into. He was one of the people that was like a Judas, like what happened with nZambi, like some of our other people. Oh, go follow this white God, this white Jesus guy. No, sir. We got King Congo. No. Oh, we're gonna. Oh, we messed up. We already had our Messiah. Oh, we messed up because we argued against Tata nZambi. Zola Quingy, hold on. Sambololo, where's the Yahweh Congo to Kutwala? Oh, sorry, this thing is still ringing. We must no longer participate in their war and their folly because we are prisoners of war. We are prisoners of vita. We are prisoners of the war against Rome and all of the other peoples who hate the Bakongo, the Banabetu, the Benazam. That's why they want to stop people from knowing this. Man, if the Xhosa and the Zulu and the Sotho come together, it's over. They know that. And then you put us back with Gabon and we go back with the Malawi and we come back with Yaoundé and we come back with what do you call them? Luba. We get all these people back together. The Banabetu becomes one again. Do you know how? This is what they know. If the people who were speaking the Kikongo, we call it the Kibantu, if we become the Swahili, if we become one again, they know. The people who were speaking the Paleo Hebrew, the Kibantu, the Kikongo, the Lingala, the Chiluba, if we got, man, they know. The Xhosa, the Zut, the Sotho, if we become one again, they know. Because that's why they didn't want the giants. Remember how they were eating the giants? That's why they covered them up. Oh, Tata nZambi, they eating us. They call it the Most High. Remember that? They eating us. They doing it. Oh, Tata nZambi. You see what they doing to us? Oh, we got to take care of this problem. They don't want us calling out to the right God anymore. Now we doing it. They're like, oh, they're calling out the King Congo. Oh, they're gonna coming. We know how to call the Most High now. Oh, Tata nZambi, Pungu, they're killing us. Oh, they're gonna get scared. No, 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 don't call him. He's gonna tear us to pieces like he did before. They know what God it was that came after the Nephilim, that came after the Anunnaki, that came after the Watchers. And that's why they said, don't let these people know who they are, then we're going to get jacked up. No. Now it's over. He's coming. Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? They already getting scared. Where is he? Where is he? I don't want to see him. I don't want to see something zombie. The Watchers are already starting to get scared, people. That's why they're not telling the people the truth. They're starting to panic now. Oh, they're rising up. Oh, no. Oh, no. This is not good for us. They know. They're already panicking. Why do you think they're already underground? They're getting stronger. They're getting stronger. You don't think that's going through their head? Why are they trying to stop people like me from talking? They don't want us to finish our job. Why do you want to get us fighting against each other again? They know when Banabetu unite, the God of creation is coming. He's going to expose all of it. Yeah, it's going to happen. He already did it. He's coming. They lied to you. None of this is real like you think. And if people are going to sit there and keep laughing, They did the same thing before. Oh no, your God is Satan. We got the right God. Oh yeah, da da da. Days of okay. They're gonna keep saying we worshiping the wrong God up out here. This piece, okay. They're gonna say, "Oh, you crazy? You're days of Noka." Well, here we are. You people stupid. You don't know what you're talking about. You witchcraft. You voodoo. You need help. You need to go seek. You need help with this. You have issues. No. Christianity is gonna save us. Okay. Christianity is the worship of Cain, like all the other religions. They don't know that. Watch. They worshiping Cain. They ain't worshiping Tata nZambi. They're gonna be like, okay, here we go. The tribulation is gonna happen. We already starting, people. It's gonna get worse. Zola Quingy, Sambololo, Kemba, hallelujah, Engeta.